to Dr. Glynis' Chicken Genetics videos. In this video, we look at why chicken genetics is important. Chicken owners and breeders can have a better understanding of their birds through genetics, but why bother? The most obvious reason is that we can more quickly and more reliably select for the things we like. It can help a lot to know how the things we're interested in are affected by genetics, and how we can use that to produce chickens with desirable character. In the graphic, you can see some of my own chickens, and some of the characters that I like to keep in mind when I'm breeding my chickens. By making a few measurements, taking a few notes, and keeping visual and written records, you can chart the development of your breeding program. Here we can see some of the things I've been up to in my own breeding programs. As well as noting feather, colouring and pattern, I've been weighing birds and noting down their behavioural and egg-laying characteristics. In the cross shown, I know I have birds that, although rather variable in colour and pattern, grow as heavy and as well as the Maran's parents. They are also calmer in nature than the Marans, especially the males, whose fathers think they are T-Rex in training. Egg-laying has started at a time when the Maran's antes are taking a rest, and of the 5 that have started laying, 1 has started earlier than average and 4 are laying dark brown eggs. There is clearly scope for combining the better characters of the 2 breeds involved in the cross. Besides the characters we'd like to breed from, there are also those that we would like to avoid. We can use our knowledge of genetics so that we don't frazzle our frizzles or try to produce tufty by mistake. And if you don't know about frizzles, frazzles and ear tufts, we'll be discussing them in future videos. I've often found that hobby animal breeders make mistakes with their genetics, and if you'll allow me to digress just for a few seconds, I'll tell you a story which, although it happened now 3 decades ago, was so shocking that I've never forgotten it. Back in those days, I built the #1 horse genetics website on Google. Occasionally people asked questions, and one day, out of the blue, a lady contacted me to ask about her pregnant mare. She was keen on pattern horses and had saved to buy the best mare she could find and had bred it to an equally stunning stallion. What she hadn't realised until it was much too late is that the pattern gene was lethal when homozygous. Her foal died shortly after birth, causing much grief all the way round. As you can imagine, it's much nicer to be able to tell people how to avoid things from happening than to tell them why something's gone so tragically wrong. Although this is quite an extreme example, I have seen chicken breeders making quite similar mistakes. For example, I recently saw someone complaining online because their black copper Marans had a terrible hatch rate and poor survivability as they grew up. Among the survivors were poor egg layers, along with birds with poor conformation and other defects. This was avoidable and almost certainly down to him trying to breed from a brother and sister. It appears to be a classic example of inbreeding depression, where inbreeding lowers the ability to survive and reproduce. Anyways, I hope you can appreciate that genetics is important to chicken breeders. Although breeding towards a goal may be a little bit more challenging, it's also an awful lot of fun. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have found it useful, please like, comment below, and share it with your friends or on social media. Subscribe so that you're notified of chicken genetics videos as they come out. I hope to see you very soon.